Australia. What a wonderful place to live. The most livable city in the world, right? Sun, surf, thongs, barbies, wide open ranges. And of course, is there anything better than having an icy cold beer with your mate? It's all about the Aussie spirit, carefree lifestyle, friendly people, all amongst the unique flora and fauna.
Oi, hey!
What was that, Nick? Did you say poverty? Nah, not in Australia. We're such a rich, prosperous country. Nobody would associate that with us. What? There's children that are starving and more than 16,000 people who are homeless? Talk a little louder.
In Australia, citizens are considered to be living under the poverty line if their household income is less than $433 per week for a single adult living alone, or $909 per week for a couple with 2 children. Based on 2018 statistics using this measure, it was found that over 3 million Australians are living below the poverty line, equating to 13.2% of the population. Among them includes approximately 739,000 children. Ultimately, this means that 1 in every 8 adults and more than 1 in every 6 children are living in poverty in Australia.
The Sustainable Development Goals, or Global Goals, are the United Nations call to action to help sustain human life on Earth. All 17 goals have some form of wider emphasis on creating a more peaceful, environmentally friendly and gender equal Earth. 15 years prior to the SDGs, the Millennium Development Goals were created in the UN's original pledge to the Earth's development. These tackled significant issues that were relevant in the year 2000 and made a substantial impact, including removing over 1 billion people from poverty. However, in 2015, larger and more relevant issues faced the Earth that did not all fit into the MDGs, so the SDGs were created to continue their legacy and focus on all issues between equality, sustainability and poverty.
So how is Australia meeting these goals? What are the implications? And how do we stand in our progression to change this situation?
Goal 1.2 focuses to reduce at least half the proportion of people living in poverty in all its dimensions according to national definitions by 2030. Australia is yet to have an agreed national definition of poverty. This hinders the ability to begin addressing dimensions of poverty and reduce its prevalence profile in Australia. Australia is ranked as the second wealthiest country in the world. However, it is shown that the number of Australians living in poverty within the last 4 years has increased dramatically. Australia must create a poverty reduction plan to start attaining this goal. Interventions and initiatives need to be developed to begin identifying frameworks, different population groups and all its definitions of poverty to begin focusing on meeting this goal to halve the number of people living in poverty by 2030.
The goal 1.3 is to implement appropriate social protection systems by 2030 to achieve substantial coverage for the poor. Welfare can be influenced by broader factors surrounding income and poverty. Major welfare service types in Australia are provided by the Commonwealth Government. These payments are administered by Centrelink, a branch of the Department of Human Services. Some major welfare support include age pension, disability services such as mobility and sickness allowance, family tax benefits, youth allowance and Absuddy to assist Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians with the cost of studying or completing an Australian apprenticeship. However, the number of unemployed people in Australia has increased to 680,000 in March of 2019. 17% of children are still living in households experiencing poverty. Sole parents who were new applicants for income support after 2006 could no longer receive single parenting payments if their youngest child was 8 years or older. People with disabilities were also diverted from a disability support pension to the lower New Start and youth allowances. Over the past 2 decades, Australia's social welfare system has been subject to major reforms and many small-scale adjustments. This can be implemented to increase payment levels and expand eligibility for assistance. Improvements can be made by engaging with employers, developing simpler and sustainable income support systems, and strengthening individual and family capabilities.
And so, there is no questioning how great it is to live in Australia, but it is important to reflect on the devastating and struggle-filled life that some people within our country do experience. Although we are an OECD country, the SDGs do still apply to us, and it is important that we are focused on meeting our targets to improve the lives of many, while still supporting other countries who experience extreme poverty through aid.